Hey guys, welcome to my art room. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these terracotta warriors using salt dough clay. I have another video attached in the slideshow that shows you how to make the salt dough clay. I'm going to start out with about a quarter recipe of the salt dough. If you mix it just for one terracotta soldier, you just need 1/2 cup flour, 1/4 cup salt, and 1/4 cup water. Split the dough into 2 pieces with one piece slightly bigger than the other. Split the larger half of the dough into 2 parts. 1/2 is going to be for the legs. So roll this out, split it in half again, and then make the foot shape out of each of these halves. So make it kind of a carrot shape and then fold up the shape for the foot. To do that, I'm just bending it up like an ankle and then pushing it a little bit forward so the heel in the back sticks out a little and so do the toes. Do the same thing with the other half. Check to see that they're even and standing up straight, and then set them aside so you can work on the other pieces. You can use a tool like a pencil or a fork to add a little texture to the boots if you want also. After this is done, I'm going to make the body. So I'll set these 2 aside, take this ball of clay, and then I think there's a little bit too much here, so I'm just taking a little bit off, and I'm going to make this into the body shape. So I'll just squeeze it together a little and then slowly form it into a bar shape, kind of like a wide candy bar. I'm going to use a tool like a paintbrush or this permanent marker here to open up the body, making it sort of like a long pinch pot. Push the end of your tool all the way into the clay, almost to the end, and then push it down against the table on one side, flip it over, and do that on the other side. You want this to be hollow on the inside and not too thick anywhere, not more than about 1/4 or 1/2 inch thick, because you want it to be able to dry when you bake it in the oven. Right here, I'm just straightening it out a little bit, and then I'll check to see if it fits over the legs to stand up. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of texture to the outside. I'm just going to use the side of these scissors. You could use any tool to do this. So you can add a little bit of texture now and then start on the other body parts after. I'm going to use the remaining dough to make the head and arms. So I'm going to break it in half and then break half in half. Use one piece to make the head. And then this other large piece I'm going to roll into a sort of fat coil and then break this in half to make the arms. Once I've got it rolled to a nice shape, I can split it in half. You can cut it with scissors or just tear it with your hands. And then you can attach these 2 arms to the side. So make sure they're about the same size and see how they fit on the body. And then you can move on to some later parts. So I'm going to make hands out of this extra clay. I'm also going to use this clay to make the shoulder pads or epaulets. To make these epaulets, I'm going to squish the clay into a long flat shape, add some texture with a pencil or something, and then split it in half. After I make these, I'm going to start attaching the body together. To make the clay attach together, you just need to brush a little bit of water on it. You can do that with a paintbrush or just by dipping your finger in the water. So just put the water on and then stick the pieces together. This arm is going to be holding something, so I'm going to bend it in half before I attach it. So I'll just add some water here and then attach it together. And then next, I'm going to attach the shoulder pads. Right now, I'm kind of wishing I had a little bit more clay left. I think if I made this again, I'd use slightly less clay for the body so I have more clay for details. Right now, I'm rolling out a little piece of clay to add a little scarf. So I'll just roll out the clay, squish it, and then attach it onto the front so he's got a little scarf on. Now for the hands, I've just got 2 little pieces of clay that I'm going to squish into little hand shapes. You can just make a little flat piece and curl it up. It looks kind of like a fist, and attach this to the end of the wrists. I'm going to try to make this one so it can hold on to something while he's standing up, but this clay isn't as stiff as the clay we use at school, so I'm not sure it's going to work, but I'll try it anyways. If I had a little bit more clay and the hand could be a little thicker, I think it might work better. Now for the face, there's a few ways to do this. I'm going to roll this into a ball, and then you can just pinch the shape of the face. So just squeeze the clay with your fingers to make the nose, and this also kind of makes the eye sockets, and then push up with something like the end of a pencil to make the bottom of the nose flat. Then you can use the pencil also, press in to make the eyes and the mouth, and then use this for the head. So I have a little bit more reserve clay. I'm going to roll this into a small coil and make the Terracotta Warrior's hair out of this. So just roll it out like this, roll up the end, and then attach this to the top of the head. I'm going to leave just a little bit of hair sticking out. So I'll brush some water on there and then stick it to the head. Here's a different type of face that you can make. So you can take the ball of clay you're using for the head and just rip off a very small piece, make it back into a ball, and then you'll use the clay that you have left to make the facial features. I'm just going to push with the end of the pencil in to make the eye sockets, then roll out a little tiny piece of clay about the size of a piece of rice and attach it to the front of the face for a nose. Squish it on, add the eye sockets again, maybe nostrils on the nose, and then you can use the extra piece, split it in half, roll it in a circle, and you can make the eyes with this. So just put the eyes in there, then you can push the pencil in to make the pupil, and do the same thing on the other side. And now just attach all the parts together. Now you want to just check the shape of your warrior, make sure it's still opened up on the inside, straighten it out, check to see if it still fits on top of the legs, just like that. And then you'll lay it all flat on a cookie sheet to bake it in the oven. You want to bake this at 225 to 250 degrees for about 1 to 2 hours. Check every 30 minutes or so to rotate it and see if your warrior has hardened completely. After you take it out of the oven and it's cool, you can paint this with watercolor paint. You can use marker or any kind of paint that you have.